Hey guys, it's your host Chris Kwan with a new episode of When Did You Know? So without further ado, let's go meet our couple, Mike and Leah.
When did you know? When did you know?
Welcome to another episode of the When Did You Know podcast. I'm your host Chris Kwan, and I'm super excited for today's episode and for today's couple. Today I have the Dandies with me, Mike and Leah. Hey guys, thank you so much for allowing me into your wonderful home and for agreeing to do the podcast. How are y'all?
Good.
Yeah. Thanks for having us.
Mike and Leah and I have known each other for about 7 months. It's been a pleasure to get to know them, and they're great poker players for one, the both of them. That one is a little shark over there in the corner. Don't let the innocence fool you. But yeah, it's just been a real pleasure to we'll play disc golf and hang out, and obviously we're bonded through other things, and so I'm really excited for the world to get to hear your story, and frankly for me to learn a lot of what I don't know. So without further ado, I would love for you guys to introduce yourselves to our audience. Let's go ladies first. Leah, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. So my name is Leah. I'm 30 years old and I was born in Korea, lived there for until I was 10, then went to Orange County, lived for 11 years, and then came here to Dallas.
Great. How was your 30th birthday? How was turning 30?
It would have been sad, except Mike prepared like a surprise birthday party for me with my friends, and I had no clue. So the shock and it was really fun with all the friends.
So you were legitimately surprised.
We got to the restaurant, and they were taking us to the restaurant, and I see like Dan and my best friend sitting with other people, and I was like, they're not giving us our own table. I was like upset. I was telling him, I was like, oh my god, we don't have our own table. And then I got to the table, and that's when I noticed
that's
all
so
my
funny.
friends. Yeah.
Well, thanks for that. Mike, what about you? We'll talk more about that, I'm sure. Mike?
Yeah, I'm Mike. I'm 34. I was born.
Babies. Sorry, go ahead.
I was born in Los Angeles, and I've kind of lived all over. So somehow came back to the Dallas area. I'm an engineer for work. I don't know. Did you?
Yeah, what do you do?
I'm a CPA.
Okay.
Accountant, yeah.
Yep.
All right.
And yeah, and no kids. We're just
Dinks. Living the dink life.
Yeah,
right.
dink life.
Dual income, no kids.
Yeah.
Shout out. Yeah.
There's
it's
one
the
that
best.
also has dog too.
Oh, what is that?
There's a new.
Is it like Dingo or something?
Yeah.
Dingo?
I don't know. No, educate me. I don't know. What is it?
It's similar. It's another acronym like
Double income couple.
no kids and a
No
dog or
kids.
something.
With dog or something like that. Yeah,
Somehow,
it's like
it's a dingo?
dingo. Yeah, dingo or something.
Dink go. Anyways, well, that's cool. Yeah. Oh, and I wish we could show her because she's dressed like a little elf. Well, like Santa.
Santa,
Yeah,
yeah.
sorry. Very Christmassy. Very Christmas spirited. Maybe later. You look very comfortable. So yeah, as we like to do and makes sense, let's start from the beginning. I mean, you guys both mentioned Orange County, California. Is that where you met, or did you meet in Texas?
In Dallas.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, you met in Dallas?
Yeah,
Yeah.
in Dallas.
Okay.
Yep.
Could you tell me a little bit about how that happened?
We are a online couple.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow, that marks
Yeah.
I think y'all are the third couple.
Yeah.
Third or the fourth.
It's the way to do it nowadays.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, I
think
mean,
nowadays.
what's cool though is it does kind of show that you hear all these negative things about it, but it does work.
It
Yeah.
works.
I mean,
Which app?
Hinge. Yeah.
Shout out Hinge.
Yeah.
All right.
Is our sponsor.
Yeah, exactly. See, when this becomes a big thing, your boys scheming.
Yeah.
Like when this is a big thing, we'll get Hinge to throw cater a big dinner and an event for the first however many couples. It'd be a big thing. I'll fly you guys out.
Yeah.
And it'll
Oh
be fun.
gosh.
So yeah, Hinge. Be on the lookout. But okay, so you guys met on Hinge. had you had a lot of success like in online dating? Had you been on these apps for a while? Like, what was the experience like for each of you before you guys met each other, right? Because I'm sure it wasn't all good.
Well,
right?
and we approached online dating differently.
Ooh, pray tell.
Yeah, you can tell. You can talk about this.
Yeah, it looks like. Go ahead.
We both weren't on it for a long time by the time we started hanging out, but my approach was like keep as many doors open as possible.
Okay.
And hers was like, let's focus on one person.
Oh,
And we didn't have like fights or disagreements about that, but
Yeah.
it was something we did differently. So at first it made things a little awkward. But I think very quickly those other 4 or 5 or however many I was seeing at the same time filtered out, and I ended up with just her.
okay.
Just
Yeah,
focusing on her.
I have many stories
Oh.
regarding this. So I think for me, he was the first one that I spoke to on Hinge, and I tried talking to another Mike. And I was like,
Another Mike.
I don't think this is gonna work. So then on our first date, so after we started texting, I got COVID on day 2. So for 2 weeks, I couldn't meet him. So we're just texting, and we called each other every single night for 2 weeks. And we talked 2 to 3 hours.
Wow. Wait.
Yes.
Wait. Time out. Wait. So, you guys match?
Uh-huh.
Like you're saying, you're kind of focusing on a single person. You're focusing on more. Were you guys like honest about that? So
Oh,
you
yeah.
guys knew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you were cool with it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think she was like giving me advice on the other girls.
Yeah, so I told him.
Oh,
He was
that's like
oh.
that's like a pro move.
Yeah.
Exactly. So he said, "Oh, I don't know if I should go on a date with this girl." I was like, "No, go." And then he's like, "Do you not like me or something? Why are you encouraging this?" And I said, "You have to go on other dates to see that I'm the best."
Yeah.
And then you will know that you want to choose me.
All right. I see how you
Yeah.
got that ring on your finger. You got some game.
But this was still at the time
like-
of no contact. So this was like,
Well, that went on till like
I think
several
yeah,
dates,
like 2 or
though.
3 actual physical
Yeah.
dates in. By then I had gotten rid of all the others.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. So okay,
Yeah.
it happened kind of organically. Wait,
Yeah.
how had you guys individually been on the apps a long time before you guys found each other? No, neither. of you.
Not even maybe like a month. Maybe 2 months.
So for me, I was on Bumble like 6 months before, and then I met one date, and then it was really bad.
Okay.
And then I paused.
No offense
And-
if you're listening.
Yeah, sorry. We paused.
You know who you are.
I paused, then I went back on, and he was the first and only person I dated.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
What about you, Mike? With all the doors open.
Yeah, I went on multiple dates, but I think only one of them was like repeat dates, you know?
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, I honestly before this I had a bad perception of online dating, but it really does help expedite and eliminate a lot of people up front that you wouldn't be interested in.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? Like whether it's like, do you have kids? Do you smoke? Like your
Yeah.
job? So like a lot of those things that are important to you, whatever they are, you could just eliminate like immediately instead of wasting 3 coffee shop dates. You know, it's like right away.
Yeah. Okay.
So I think it is very powerful. And now that it doesn't really have the stigma it used to. So
That's true too. Yeah.
I think it's just like the way to do it now.
So we're all in our 30s. Well, you barely. What prompted you to go do the online dating thing? If you weren't doing it, like 5 years ago or whatever, like, did you have
It's just-
friends that it
Yeah,
worked for?
good references. If you don't go to bars and clubs often, it's it does make things a little more difficult. So, situational, I think, just seemed the best.
Sure.
Yeah, same for me. I'm a homebody, so I don't really like to go out to bars or
Yeah.
or go talk to strangers
Yeah.
at restaurants. And I had about 3 couples that married through online apps. So I was like, okay, I'll give it a try.
Yeah, and I'm grateful for the couples that I know that met online, but then I'm also like because I'm still doing it because I see that it worked for somebody.
Yeah.
But okay, very cool. So okay, you guys are swiping, profiles come up. Is it like, oh, okay, I'm super attracted? You go through the profile and read all the things.
That's another story.
Yeah. Let's not
of
gloss
course, I
over.
swiped. I can't remember left or right, but good. I swiped that I liked her, and then messaged her.
Okay, so you opened it up.
Yeah, and I said like, what's the best? One of her like questions was like, I know the best Thai restaurant. So I was like, what is it?
So when I saw the message, it was like, I think it was pretty late.
Oh, so late night hinge action.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, I don't think I'll respond. And then I didn't respond that day. And the next day, I found out I had COVID. And because I'm home, I'm like, okay, let me message him.
Wow.
And that's how it started.
Well,
yeah.
and I mean, I don't know if you want to get into it, but I've never dated Asians.
Okay.
I am part Asian, so like I had some like intrigue into that world.
Okay. Wait, what's your ethnicity?
Good question. I think I'm a quarter Korean, maybe Japanese.
Okay.
I think Korean, or we think, based on like, 23andMe and stuff.
Sure.
But my dad's, and his family are from Japan and they speak Japanese, but
Okay.
we have Korean blood.
Okay. Look at you two bringing the world together.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm 100% Korean.
Progressive innovators over here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. My 23, it could not get like, you could not be more Korean. Wait, that's okay. So you didn't have you hadn't dated Asian girls,
Never.
or you said you just didn't have a thing for them? Yeah, whatever.
No, I just never did. Yeah.
So what about Leia made you
Like her pictures, obviously, her situation, like job, age, like it all lined up with, what I was interested in.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So you guys, you get COVID, so it's a great opportunity to start like texting or like on the app and getting to know each other. Conversation obviously flowing pretty well. And
Yeah.
what did you guys say? When did you start talking on the phone?
Pretty quickly, right?
Yeah. See, I don't know if I'm just because I'm old school, but I didn't waste a lot of time like texting on Hinge. Like I would quickly after the first few texts, I'd say to a girl, "Can we talk on the phone?" Because like I feel like their voice and like how they interact verbally, really you can tell really quick if you're gonna click or not.
Yeah. I mean, a lot better than reading stuff.
Yeah.
Reading text, but
Yeah.
I'm really glad you mentioned that because I'm like that. Like I want to talk on the phone, like minimum. Like I don't really like to do the texting thing, especially on the apps, and so I'll take it that way. But that's how I know I'm old because a lot of times when I ask for numbers, they're like, not Instagram. Like you want a phone number?
Yeah.
For what? I'm
Yeah.
like, to talk.
Yeah.
Or,
You
but
can follow
anyway.
me on Snap.
Yeah, right. I'm like, oh my god, it's over. Okay, so you guys start talking on the phone, but like with that first week, and you said every night for like a couple hours or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was
For 2
and
to 4
and she's a CPA at a big accounting firm, and it was during like busy season.
When we
Not
started,
quite,
it
but-
wasn't. It didn't quite start, so
Okay.
I had the time.
yeah. But even when it started, we were
Yeah.
talking a lot.
Oh, she
Yeah.
made the time, so
Yeah.
you're like, okay, this is big time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
geez,
for the
interesting.
first month or two, we talked for 2
yeah.
hours every day.
Wow.
It was just very like calming, and like I looked forward to it. And yeah, it just like took my mind off work stress and life. So
Yeah, it was like unwinding period
Yeah.
for us.
And
Yeah.
this is like just like kind of just getting to know each other, like
well, after a
Mystery
week,
hobbies.
yeah, it was. Yeah,
I'm thinking like in my mind like romantic, getting to know each other montage, late night phone conversation.
It was sort of. It was like flirty and romantic, but it was also just a lot of just getting to know each other's past and
cool.
personality. And,
Yeah.
we're just like very similar,
We are.
very similar. So I think both of us, it's important for both of us, like before jumping into a relationship, to understand a lot about the other person.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you guys were both looking for something more serious on the
Oh,
apps
yeah.
too,
Oh,
not
yeah.
just like date around. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't have Tinder. I was
Yeah. All right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Take that, Tinder. No. So you guys are talking for a while. How long before the first like date?
So 2 weeks, because that's when I got my negative test
Oh,
for COVID.
okay. So
Yep.
you're testing every day. You're just waiting. When can I meet
Yeah.
this man?
Yeah. No, really. That is what was happening.
I didn't get tested every day.
I
but
was even pressuring her.
Yeah, he.
I'll buy the test.
No,
Yeah.
no, I
Yeah.
was like, I don't care. Like, that's just me.
Oh.
yeah.
I don't care. Give me COVID. Yeah.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
a weekend, I was like, let's just go.
But you waited.
Yeah.
Okay, a negative
Because
test.
at the time it was pretty serious.
Mm-hmm.
Like COVID was a serious thing, and I didn't want to live with the guilt.
Yeah.
of passing it on to someone.
Yeah. Okay. So where was said first date?
Sushi restaurant.
How did
Yeah.
that go?
At South Lake.
Okay.
For me, it was great.
First impressions. See him in person after.
It was
talking
very
to him?
comfortable.
Okay.
It was like, but it could be because we had talked on the phone every night for like 2 weeks.
Uh-huh.
But like right away, I just was not uncomfortable at all.
Okay.
Like I was like eating a lot, which is like weird for a first date. I think you were too.
Oh yeah. So I can never eat on first dates because I just get so
Stress.
nervous and anxious, so
Uh-huh.
I never eat. But with him, I finished my bowl. I remember ordering an udon
Uh-huh.
and I finished it.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was like, I
Yeah,
must be really comfortable.
And we were just like, you know, even though we had never met, I sat down and we were just instantly like we were on the phone. You know, it was. So yeah, it was very comfortable, which was a good sign.
There's a lot to be said about that too, because even if you're like really vibing, like, you know, via text or on the phone, it's different when you
Different.
meet somebody and you're kind of they're sitting across the table from you. So yeah.
I remember when I first saw him, the first thing I told him was that he looks exactly like his photos.
Oh, okay. Not
I
better,
guess
not worse.
that's a good thing, I guess.
Yeah.
No, I saw him and I was like, oh my gosh, he looks. Because people could look different from the photos, but he looked exactly like the photos. So that was like, wow. But
It's a very Korean thing to say.
and another thing about first date was we ate dinner. I think we met pretty early because
Yeah.
it was a very popular
Okay.
I think place, so we wanted to get there before
Yeah.
it gets too busy. So after eating, we walked to like an ice cream place.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, he walked me to my car, and I think it was 9. It's like, okay, bye. I'm like, okay. So, you know, in my mind, good dates are really long. You don't want to go home. Like, you want to, like, talk
Uh-huh.
until it's, like, morning time. And then there's him at, like, 9. Bye. So I was wondering if, like, was this date not good? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I told
That's
him
just my
that.
personality. I mean, even on phone calls, like she was confused at first because she'd be like,
You know, like couples say, "Oh, you hang up first. Oh, you
Yeah.
hang up first."
Yeah.
Him's like, "Okay, good night." He doesn't even wait for my goodbye. Good night.
I'm efficient with my time.
Hey.
Yeah.
Like after 2-3 hours of talk, he's like, "Okay, bye." oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah, it was just like a good dinner, good ice cream, and then it was time to go. You know?
Yeah.
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 You're like, I gotta keep some of the mystery there, and I
Yeah.
also have a routine.
Yeah.
A nighttime routine that I need to
Well,
get
and
to.
I've been out of the dating game for a while, so I didn't, and new to the era, so I didn't really know like where to go or anything. So I was like, okay, that's a wrap. Yeah.
Yeah. For his defense, every place was closing at 9.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, when you first brought it up, I honestly thought you were gonna say like, "Oh, I was taken aback that he walked me to my car and opened the door." You know, the whole like chivalry's not dead, but no, he was just like he sent me
Yeah.
home. I was like questioning, did he like me?
Yeah. I discharged her.
To me, I'm like, that's a pro move too. Leave him wanting more, you
Yeah.
know, and confused.
Yeah, you don't want to seem
and-
too desperate. Like, let's talk for 4 more hours. You know, like.
Oh,
But that's
yeah.
what-
So don't seem too desperate.
Yeah.
But that's
John-
what I'm
get off.
used to.
Huh?
That's what I'm used to.
Yeah.
You know, like girls are usually the one like, okay, like maybe we should go home now. You know?
From personal experience, I'll say like 99% of it is like, no, you hang up. No, you
Oh,
hang up.
yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, let's hang up on 3. 1, 2, 3. Like that whole thing. So that's actually I'm gonna put that one in my.
Yeah. The other weird thing too is there's like a major difference between American and Korean dating cultures from like a respect level and
Sure.
like personal space level. Americans are very touchy-feely and forward, and like usually it's expected you kiss on the first date, right? Like it's not a good first date if you don't kiss. That is not the case in Korea.
No.
I'm sure you know this, but
No, I'm a whitewashed Korean, so
okay.
I completely identify with what you just said. I have no idea what you're about
so
to say.
I was not at all prepared for that. And I think even like 3 or 4 dates in, I was like, like, can we hold hands? And like holding hands is like you do that once you're official.
That's kind of like older Korean.
Yeah.
But like when I was in 20s or early 20s. So yeah. I
Yeah,
told
maybe
him-
it's not the case anymore.
Yeah,
but
not the case for teens right now in Korea, but
Okay.
that's how I was like I grew up,
I didn't know that. I love that.
So I was
Yeah.
like, what the heck? Like,
Yeah.
like we can't hold hands is a little ridiculous, but I think I respected it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I was pushy, but
yeah, and he kissed me before the before we made it official. And the next time I was like,
Oh,
like
he got
you
in
either
trouble.
make this like official or I don't like that. So I told him.
But
I think during like first few dates, I told him like no holding hands, no kissing for me until it's official because I don't like it.
Okay.
Yeah.
yeah, it was very hard for me. I'm not, well, not just because I was attracted to her, but like if you try to, like it's like changing up your gameplay,
Dude, it would be, I was just thinking, I was trying to, like, it would be
Yeah.
hard for me.
Yeah, like so you have to approach it totally different. You have to like court them differently.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a totally different. I was not ready or experienced in it. So
Well, I feel like you have so much game. Like, you're like this little ninja. And, like, are you trying, like, you're throwing him off at, like, every turn. And then he's, like, having to, like, think about his life and things. I need to incorporate a lot of that into my repertoire. But, okay, so first date goes good. Ends at 9. You go home. You're continuing to talk. When was the second date? Shortly after?
Yeah. I think so, right? We started meeting twice a week.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
about twice a week.
Twice a week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fast track.
We lived far. I was in North Richland Hills, which is right by Fort Worth. And
Oh,
he lived
wow.
here, the
Wow.
colony. So it was 45-minute drive.
Wow, so you're like matching preference.
We
with
would
the
meet
date
halfway,
range?
or
okay.
like sometimes she'd come all the way here.
And he'll try to make me sleep over. Like, sir, no.
You're like, we're not holding hands, so
I'm like, the roads are pretty icy, but it was like not.
not.
There was like no rain or snow. But I think the first like week or first like handful of dates were here watching like Korean zombie shows.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It was All of Us Are Dead.
Oh, yeah.
That was trending on Netflix.
Yeah.
And we started watching it, and I love that show.
Yeah. Yeah, and honestly, I just like instantly got like attracted to the Korean culture.
Oh, okay. Because
Yeah.
she's now, not only are you kind of seeing a Korean girl,
Yeah.
but she's introducing you to like
Yeah.
Korean shows.
Yeah, and
and
it's
things.
just since then it's just progressively grown. Like the interest, I've loved it.
Yeah, and y'all just got back from Korea not too long
Yeah.
ago.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll talk about that as well. Is there anything that stands out in like that early courtship of the dating? Like I'm saying like before the first kiss, because I do want to take some time to talk about that unsanctioned first kiss. Like any fun, little stories, or how many dates until the date with the kiss?
Well, we made it official February 22nd, 22.
Oh yeah.
That was
Two, 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 two,
intentional.
two.
Yeah, 222.
Intentional?
Yeah. And our first kiss was right before that, so we were seeing each other for about 2 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, Mike, you waited 2 months
Yeah.
and you still got in trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. She didn't like dogs, and like the second or third date, because I was like, this ain't gonna work if you don't like Rue.
Yeah.
so I was
And-
like, I'm bringing Rue, and if it doesn't work, then
The funny thing was, I asked him that while we were chatting before we met.
Ask
Yeah.
what?
I asked,
Oh.
what if I can't be around Rue because I'm afraid of dogs.
Okay.
I was chased when I was in first grade, so I was like terrified of dogs.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, you won't meet Rue." I was like, "That's not
or
realistic."
no, I was like, if it doesn't work, we'll keep you guys separate.
Yeah. I was like, "That's not realistic." And then on second date, he's like, "Can I bring Rue?" It's like, I thought we're not meeting.
Yeah.
But we met, and she's such a gentle dog.
Yeah.
I was totally fine.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep.
That is kind of like a Korean thing too. I don't know. I don't know. We didn't have pets growing up.
Oh.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, my sister had a similar thing. I mean, she loves animals. She loves dogs. They have now just
They only raised those really big, scary dogs. So I never had like pet dogs when I was younger, in Korea. So yeah, I was always afraid of dogs. But
okay.
Yeah, I
let's-
can't really think of any other.
oh
They were all good dates, but there was nothing like crazy or anything.
Yeah.
yeah, just watching
I mean,
the show. And
I don't know if this is advisable, but like, what, 5 or 6 months in, we went on a trip across the country for a week.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
Which
that's
is like
another
pretty
thing.
early. It might have been like 4 or 5 months. in.
Yeah, and then some
it was
people
June,
were.
so like
That's such
February-
a me thing to do. Wait. Okay. Wait.
like
Well, let's,
flew to Oregon for a week.
wow.
Oh, and then on our third date, he cooked for me.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
see that we need to talk about this. That's big time. So you go on a couple dates, you go out, you have a good time. She meets Rue. See, that's kind of like the next step. It's like, oh, if you like somebody, you're like, okay,
Come over and I'll cook
yeah,
for you.
I'm gonna cook for her. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. All right. So what did you make?
A family spaghetti.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
this
It's really good.
It's really good, but I didn't time it well, so we ate at like 9.
I was starving.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why it tasted so good. But he
Yeah.
also packed leftovers for me to take to my
Oh.
parents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. To take the wow.
Yeah, because well, her parents would like give her donuts to give to me.
Oh yeah.
Like on our date. So I was like, I got to send them something.
Wait, they knew that you were going on a date and they would pack donuts.
She was living with them at the
Yeah.
time.
Oh, so
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
wow, that's like a nice sign of support and
Yeah.
a nice
Yeah.
gesture.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's another topic because there's language barriers between.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We'll talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get there.
My parents know how picky I am, so if I'm going on third date with someone, they know
Oh,
he has
yeah.
to be somewhat decent.
Okay, yeah.
They're very supportive. Yeah.
I've never heard anything like that though, where the parents like prep something for the date.
Yeah, I mean,
Come on, mom and dad, slacking. Wait, that's beautiful. Okay, so I do want to talk about the first kiss. So, who wants to tee that up for us? This unsanctioned
So
kiss, and don't act like you didn't like it.
well, we were here.
Mhm.
And we were watching the All of Us Are Dead zombie show.
Romantic.
And then he kissed me. But then I was a little bit startled because I said no kiss before dating or making official. So then he told me that he felt like I was like kind of like what
like pulling away.
pulling
Yeah.
away or something. So it wasn't like magical first kiss
Yeah.
because, but for me, in my head, I'm like calculating. Oh my god, like we're not official yet. Like, is this okay? Like,
Yeah.
like all these things were going in my head. Yeah,
Yeah.
but we made it official, and then it happened.
So
Yeah, it was just like again, like confusing. The culture differences
yeah.
is like it made it kind of confusing.
Yeah.
There was nothing wrong. It was just
Yeah.
like two different cultures kind of clashing. Like
He's just trying his best.
Yeah.
Leah. All right.
yeah. For an American, that's like very delayed.
I'm listening to this.
Yeah.
I'm leaning more. I'm like, you deserve a medal for that. No hand holding. Waiting too much for a kiss. Like that's pretty good.
I agree.
And then even when you want to get official, she's like, no, we have to wait till 2/2/22 because it's a Korean thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, my goodness.
Yeah. I
Give
was
this man a
patient
medal.
though. I was
Yeah.
patient.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so what about then usually we just talk about the first kiss, but since it's so, unique like that, what about the first official kiss after? Because
That I don't even remember where it was.
I think we had it when we made it official.
probably, right?
Yeah.
It'd be weird.
At my parents
Oh yeah.
at the lake.
Yeah. Yep.
Yes, there's this like huge lake, where my parents are. So we were walking, and then we sat on the bench and we kissed.
Wait, so did you meet the parents
No,
at
no,
that time? Okay. See, I was like, wait a minute.
Not quite.
No, not yet, not yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so all you listeners out there, the first kiss doesn't even have to be,
Magical.
Like some
magical.
huge like firework thing.
Yeah,
You
it
can
can
be
still
confused.
work. Yeah,
Yeah.
you can be confused.
Yeah.
Like when I cut little clips for out of each interview, to do like little shorts and like promote. Like I'm gonna use that. You can be confused. That's so funny. Okay, so and then you were like, this big lake. I'm like, oh, that's romantic. It's like at my parents. I'm like, less romantic. No, I'm kidding. All right, so how? So that's a couple months in, and then you said you took a trip to Oregon for a week.
Yeah.
How did
Yeah,
that come
so-
about? Was that like a work thing for one of y'all, or just you planned it
No,
to go
well,
together?
so before that, she claims she was not living here, but she was sleeping here 3 or 4 nights a week. So I consider it living here. So I think we had been living together for at least a month and a half or 2 months.
So
Sorry, Leah's mom and dad.
I told him I would not move in with somebody until we got married.
Uh-huh.
So until the end, I told him I wasn't living here. But he thinks differently.
Yeah. So
Well, I mean, that's
Let's not get too technical.
all right.
I wasn't.
Okay.
I wasn't.
but we were comfortable enough to agree to go on a plane and go to across the country for a week. And little did we know on the plane she got a kidney stone mid-flight. So the first like 3 days of it were like nightmare.
Oh,
Like,
wow.
She was like dying. Went to the ER for a whole day.
Like you get off the plane and go to the hospital? Like that
Oh
kind of-
no. In the plane, I was in pain for like 20 minutes, and then it stopped, and then like 20 minutes, and then it stopped. So, like, we were able to land.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then
I
like
thought I
the
was gonna
next
die, but-
morning, she was like, "I have to go to the ER," and I was like, "Come on, walk it off."
Yeah. Yeah.
He
We're
said
on
it'll get
vacation.
better. It'll get better, like at the airport, at the plane.
And are you staring at him like with death in your eyes?
No,
Like,
dude, I've never seen. When we got to the ER, I have never seen somebody in so much pain.
Wow.
It was bad. So I was like, okay, maybe something's up here.
And they were putting the IV in, and he faints when he sees needles. And he's holding my hand. I'm like screaming from pain, and they're doing IV. And I look, and he's gone. And I hear, "Are you okay?" And I look, the nurse is asking him if he's okay. He's like laying on the bench. I'm like, hello?
Yeah,
wait, seriously, needles? Needles freak out?
yeah.
Like that's what did
Specifically, like in the vein. I could like get a booster shot in the shoulder, but something about the veins.
Did you have a needle chase you when you were young, like a dog chased Leia?
The-
or something?
Pretty bad.
Okay.
We don't need
Just
to
a
get into
traumatic
it.
experience.
Yeah.
Okay. Wait, so wow, there's so much there. Let's just unpack that for a second. So this is like first trip together. obviously it's a curveball. It does not start as expected. But then in retrospect, I'm thinking like, oh, this is like the first kind of opportunity you guys have to like come together over like something that's not positive.
Yeah.
Step up, kind of like in a.
Yeah.
Well, it was a great
100%.
test because a lot of couples in these situations would fight, for sure. In general, couples on vacations fight anyway. But I was shocked, like after the whole week being there, like still no fight. No,
Yeah.
To this day, we've never had a fight. Actually,
Knock on wood, right?
Yeah.
Knock on wood.
Oh gosh.
It's very bizarre. I've never met someone like that.
Yeah.
But we just, yeah.
Really?
So the whole vacation, we didn't. I mean, she was kind of like yelling, but it was because she was like dying of pain.
Yeah,
So
not at him.
I'll cut her some slack. But yeah, it was. So I was like, after that, I was like, this may work. This might work. You know.
Yeah.
If we can get through all that, you know.
Yeah.
When stuff like that used to happen, you know, like unexpected, like negative things, I used to get like really frustrated and like, in my own head and stuff like that. But like more times than not, it's really like an opportunity to like grow closer together over some kind of adversity. I'm kind of surprised that she didn't rip your head off when you were like, "Hey, it's gonna be fine," you know, telling a Korean woman like,
Yeah.
"Hey, your pain's gonna be fine. Let's just go do these things."
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
I woke him up. He said, "Oh, it's gonna get better," and I laid in bed trying to, like wait 20 minutes, and then I was like, "No, you gotta wake up.
Yeah.
We gotta go right now."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you guys are comfortable with each other, but it's still like only had been not
yeah.
that
Oh,
yeah.
long,
And then we get to the yard to check in. And,
Oh my gosh.
and so she's in so much pain she can't talk, and the
I
nurses.
can't move.
Yeah, the nurses and doctors are like suspicious because they're like, "What's her last name?
No,
What's her
my
full legal
name?
name?" Which is a Korean name. And I didn't have it nailed down yet.
I mean, who could blame you? Yeah, I mean,
And
It's
then
a
they were like,
long
"When's her
one.
birthday?" And I like
And he's like,
hesitated.
"July?"
And so
he's
they
looking
were,
at me.
Yeah, they were
"July?"
wondering like if I had kidnapped this
yeah, they're
woman.
like, "Do you know her?" It's like, "How long have you been
This is
together?
your boyfriend?"
Why are you taking a trip so early?"
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Did you because I'm guessing I wasn't born Chris. You weren't born Leah. So did you? Is your name Leah your full Korean name and then your last name?
No, so it's my Korean name and then my Korean last name right now because my lawyer told me to wait to change any kind of name till I get citizenship.
Oh yeah, that's
So,
right. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, because what I did was, I mean, I wasn't born Chris. It was when my parents made the decision to move here. The priest that married them, he was Australian. His name was Chris, and my parents wanted us to have American names. So I'm Christopher. My sister's Christina. But then obviously my Korean name is Younghoon Kwon or Kwon Younghoon, and so I wanted to retain the Korean name. So I put my first and middle of the Korean name together, and it's my middle name now.
That's what I'll probably do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Have fun changing all of your
Oh my gosh, I
IDs,
know.
credit cards, accounts. Yeah,
Yeah.
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 That's dreadful.
The things you do for love, right?
Yeah.
To have the great dandy name. Yeah. Okay. So hopefully you got to enjoy. How was the rest of the trip like? Did you guys have fun in Oregon, or now you still?
Yeah.
The rest was beautiful and great. Yeah. Yeah.
And I think even though it was frustrating, we still were like taking care of the other person. Like I was so drugged up with the medicine. But I was like, "Oh, do you want to like go to the beach and like I can just lay there and then you can enjoy the water?" And for him,
I was like, sure.
he did say sure, and I was laying at the beach. But he stayed with me at the ER all day, and he took me to get medicines, and he was always like asking if I was okay and taking care of me. So
Did any part of you deep down inside were you like, oh, this was a mistake? We made a terrible mistake.
No, not at all. The direct opposite. That was actually like the name of your podcast. That was the moment I knew she was the one, actually.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually told this at my wedding speech. This was part of my wedding speech.
Really?
Yeah. It was an epiphany I had in the ER after I had woken up from passing out. But I saw her with like all the things hooked up, nurses standing around her, just like crying in pain. And I was like, I got a feeling that I was like, I need to take care of her the rest of my life. Like, I am meant to take care of her. So it's ironic and kind of depressing, but I was seeing her in pain is when I was like, that was the moment I was like, she's the one.
Wow.
Yeah, it's kind of dark and
No,
yeah.
I actually don't think so at all. I think that's like, I mean, that is really beautiful. I'm a little angry because you like stole my thunder and introduced
sorry.
me. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm kidding. I'm so kidding. Wow, because I've just so much going through my mind because not only had you just like passed out and gone through the needle and stuff, so maybe you were feeling a little
Yeah, a
no.
little bit.
No, I actually
But-
didn't actually pass out. I was like, I can tell when I'm getting lightheaded.
Yeah, you're
so
getting-
I just laid down, but I didn't pass out.
Lay down. Very watching. Are you okay?
Oh my gosh.
It's like a scene out of a movie, actually.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
No, I guess. So that was very early for you.
Yeah.
I was asking in jest because I'm trying to put myself in your shoes. You know, something similar like that were to happen. Of course, I would take care of the person, but then in my mind, you know, I
You'd,
I
like,
might have been
question
like,
it.
oh man, like,
Or like, is this a bad
was this
sign?
too early? Yeah, was this a bad sign?
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
and stuff like that. But the fact that what was actually going on in your mind was like the complete opposite, like complete 180 of that is what I think is so cool. What I find very beautiful about the situation. And sure, you're just trying to survive. So like you're not even aware of that or
No.
thinking of that or anything. Had you told her that was your moment before? Oh, you said
I think at the
wedding-
wedding.
Yeah, yeah,
I think
Okay.
at the wedding speech that may have been the first.
Did you know
Yeah.
before the wedding?
I don't think so.
No.
Because
Yeah, he didn't tell
you know,
me.
you write a speech for
Yeah,
the wedding, or
yeah.
at least you prepare something. And I like really thought about like, okay, you know, this would be a good thing to talk about. Like, when did I realize it? And to me, it was like, you know, I could still see it all in my mind, that whole moment. And it was very bizarre. It was like,
wow. Sorry to
Yeah.
interrupt. I mean, I know you're like a spiritual person, right? You believe in a God or a higher power. Was that one of the, was that in that moment, like, did you feel like you know, sometimes I feel like, you know, I'm being told something or I'm
Right.
being shown something, right? Was it one of those things or was it like,
a little bit, yeah. It was just like a crystal clear message. Like, I don't know if I felt it was like from God or whatever, but it was just crystal clear to me. I was like, I am meant to take care of this woman. And I want to.
Yeah.
And like nobody else will. Not nobody else wants to.
Okay.
But like it has to be me.
Yeah,
Like, you know. So yeah, it was a weird, bizarre experience, but
did you talk to anybody about that afterward? No, it's just something you were like,
yeah. Well, it's like one of those hindsight things.
okay.
You know, like just the more you think about it, the more it makes sense. But yeah, it's
Another thing that really stuck with me from what he said was he said he's always content with himself. Like, just, he doesn't need any, I don't know how to explain it. Like, he doesn't really need someone around to be happy, or he's just happy when he's, you know, just being himself.
Yeah.
But then when he met me, that was his first time, like, truly being happy with someone. Or how did you say it? It's like he wants to be with me, because before he's like, oh, if they're with me, like, here it's okay, if they're there it's fine. But then with me, he's like, I want you to be here. And yeah, like that was really, I thought that
Yeah,
really stuck
like
with
he
me.
knew that he's fine himself. He's happy.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
didn't need anybody
yeah.
for like the validation or anything like that. But he still enjoyed it more when you were with him around.
No, he was okay alone.
Yeah.
Even if in relationship he was content on his own.
Yeah.
But then with me, it was different. Like he wasn't
Oh, okay.
content when he's
Yeah.
by himself. Like he will like want me there with him or need me there with him. Yeah.
Yeah, I became codependent.
Yeah.
In a good way, though.
Is
Or
that-
we'll say on that spectrum, you know, maybe you
Yeah.
eased up a little bit on
Yeah.
being so. Hey, Brew. Yeah, we're having this love fest over here, and Rue's like, I need to be a part of this. But yeah, okay, such a great segue into the when did you know segment of it. So we've heard Mike's side of it. Leah, what about you? When did you know that you wanted to spend the rest of your life with Mike?
I think it's when, so with my work, we get really, really busy when we are busy, and I'm working, like, I used to work maybe 15, 16 hours a day for every day for 3 months or so. And when I wasn't living with him, but I was here visiting, he would really take care of me. He would bring me food, and I didn't even have time to put it back in the sink. Maybe it's an excuse, but I'll just,
to work because you're busy.
yeah,
Okay.
because I'm just constantly working,
Oh.
and he will, without or no complaint, he will take it to the sink and he'll do dishes, and he'll because he said he wanted to take care of me. He see how much I'm suffering, and he's like, okay, I need to do this for you. And there I was like, okay, he's gonna be a great husband and great father. So that was a moment. And when we were considering getting married, I like envisioned my weddings, and every single time it was just him. I was like, whether I get married today or next year or
Oh.
in 10 years, like I can only see him.
Wow.
Like I don't see anybody else.
I just got goosebumps. I didn't know how you were gonna top Mike's answer, but holy crap! No, I see what you're saying. Like the date or the venue could change or this or
Yeah.
that, but you could only see it.
Yeah.
Man, that's some romantic action. Okay.
Yeah. So I think those were.
I think that's why we got married so quick.
Yeah,
we're like,
we did
it
get married
doesn't
pretty
matter.
quick.
Like, why wait till, just because they say you shouldn't get married until like 2 years after, you know, they have all these rules, but we were like, we both knew.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're like, why not do it in a few months?
Wait, so how between when you guys met and then when you got married, how long was that?
Legally or the actual
I'm just-
reception?
Okay. Legally,
Whatever.
it was 9 months.
Okay.
And then we had our small wedding
7 months
7
after
months
that.
after that, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So wow, there's some time there.
Yeah.
All
Because
right.
of my work.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Because of work again.
Yeah.
Well, and you do need some time to plan a 70
Sure.
person
Yeah.
event.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, can we talk about the proposal?
Oh.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that, and then we'll
Two.
go to
There were
wedding.
2 proposals.
Two
Yeah,
proposals.
he did too.
So
Whoa.
yeah, so Korean tradition, you decorate your home or apartment with like lights and decorations, and then you ask them there, and
Really?
That's
Or
the
maybe that's
trend.
another old-
Yeah.
yeah.
That's the trend.
yeah.
So the guy has to decorate decorate a place.
Uh-huh.
Because that shows effort, right? That shows that you put in the effort.
Yeah.
Guys are not good at decorating, but you do it for that occasion.
Okay.
Yeah, and then you ask.
yeah, so
is this in a book somewhere? I'm such a bad Korean. Like, I don't know any of this
it's
stuff.
not. It's not. Is that an
I just-
American trend? Or?
No, it's Korean, and I see it
Like-
around me. That's how
Okay.
I know. Like
Okay.
all my friends, that's how they got proposed.
Yeah, I don't know if I
so.
want to meet anybody at your church. It's been too hard. Decorate and stuff. No, kidding. I'm kidding.
So I proposed at a nature preserve first on the spot. I think I completely threw her, like
Yeah, I
shocked
had
her.
no
She didn't
idea.
expect it. And then, well, I guess we could talk about that. I put it on the wrong finger. She said, "I do," which didn't make any sense. Like, you know,
Because I was so.
so we were both
thrown
like,
off.
yeah, it was just kind of a mess, but it was great, right?
Mazel tov.
Yeah.
Put the ring on the wrong finger. Which finger did you put the ring on?
The middle one.
Nervous a little bit.
And I think it was the wrong hand. Yeah.
No, I think it
Oh.
was right hand. Just you put it on the middle. So I was like, no, you put it.
Yeah,
here.
we were walking.
And then you're like, what? No, what? There's no, finger.
Yeah.
No finger.
It's just, yeah, it's harder. You like envision it all going a certain way in your head, and then in real life, it's like way different.
Can we talk about that though a little bit before we get to the other one?
Yeah, yeah.
So nature preserve. So
Yeah.
you were taking a walk. I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you had planned it out that you were gonna.
Yeah, I
do
had
it?
this super expensive diamond in my gym shorts, so I was
Oh.
like super nervous.
How long had you had the ring? Like,
The timing of everything, I'm impressed by myself. Like
right,
everything
all
worked
right.
out really well. You'll see why in a second, but I had the ring finalized. It was using my grandma's stone. So I took my grandma's stone, who died a couple years ago, and made a new ring around the stone.
wow.
Yeah, because I want that to continue. And actually,
Yeah.
my ring is my great grandfather's.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
Wow.
it's like, why not pass that stuff on if you have it? you
Yeah,
know?
that's amazing.
So I had that done and complete like 2 days before we went on this walk. And the timing was very, very difficult because she was leaving town for a work trip like the next week. And I also had to do the apartment Korean proposal while I knew I had to do that while she was out. So I had to do this first proposal first.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to throw her off. I didn't want her to expect the Korean one.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I did the first one at the nature preserve. And it went great. You know, she was really happy. And then she went on her work trip. And I, oh my God, that was a lot of work. I was up very late for like 4 nights in a row decorating this place.
Especially because I called him every night. 'Cause I didn't know he was preparing it, so
Yeah.
I will be on the phone with him for 2 hours.
Yeah, she'd be like, what are you doing? And I'd be like up on a ladder, oh, nothing, you know. And
She's
then
like, you're just doing nothing. You're sitting there doing nothing.
And I'd be like, I gotta go.
I hear noises. What are those?
And I'd be like, just go back to your work friends. I gotta go. I got stuff to do.
Wait, you didn't expect after the proposal? You didn't expect a traditional one? I'm sure you had.
She had said she
communicated.
wanted that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I thought maybe he will at one point, but that week he was telling me how busy his work was and how crazy
Yeah.
it was. So I was like, okay, he's not gonna do it now. So I was like, might as well just talk to him.
Yeah.
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 And then she landed and then, you know, got dropped off and came in, and I think you were pretty surprised.
I was totally shocked.
That-
I mean,
but-
if I knew, I would have worn prettier clothes. Because, you know, you were at the airport. At the,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
you
I
wanna
was
be comfy.
in very comfortable clothes, yeah.
Yeah, but there's just the fact that all the timing, like that, you know how it is for guys.
Yeah,
Like,
oh,
that
yeah.
I executed this was pretty impressive.
Dude, I'm impressed for you.
Yeah.
I'm literally thinking it's tough enough to plan one proposal.
Yeah.
Get the ring, you know, get all that figured out and do it. And here you are doing 2,
Yeah,
going above and beyond.
yeah,
Yeah.
He
I'll show you
had-
pictures of it after.
Yeah, yeah,
He
yeah.
had candles lined up from the door to over there where he decorated
It's
the
like
wall.
what's the word, like a, you know, like a shrine. It's like a big shrine of like couple photo. Like I had like 100 photos of us, lights, flowers.
Yeah. If you have
Petals.
pictures, we'll like just throw it up
yeah.
on the like a little,
Oh yeah, I'll send you them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
probably in the bottom of like this corner or that corner. I don't know. We'll figure it out. I have to look back at the camera, but yeah. If you have those pictures and you'll share them, we'll definitely throw it up there. so
But the
people
funny
can
thing is
see.
about proposals, and I don't know if it's just me, but like you don't really remember what you talk about.
Okay.
Like you vaguely
Oh,
kind of
you
like
mean, okay.
yeah, like I said all this stuff, and like I couldn't tell you what I said, and I bet you can't either.
Yeah.
Like I
mean,
had all this stuff that I said, but now I'm like, what the heck did I say? Because you're so focused on your surroundings and like, you know, we were at a nature preserve, so like at any point a random person could have walked up. So I was like trying to like be aware of everything, and
You say something about you wanted to take care of me for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something
Yeah.
like that.
I mean, did you like rehearse
you have
stuff?
you have
Prep
to
stuff?
go with. I think on a proposal you need to just go with mostly your gut.
Okay,
And just
great.
naturally flow. If it sounds rehearsed, like that kind of defeats the purpose.
Yeah.
It's, but there were some like top ideas I wanted to hit.
Okay,
Like taking
sure.
care of you. And so I winged it mostly.
Okay.
Yeah. That's probably why I don't remember anything. But
Well, I mean, but there's something to be said about, speaking from the heart and doing it in the moment. I think there's a lot of guys that will benefit from just that advice too, if they're kind of struggling between like, really like writing something down verbatim and trying to regurgitate it or do it in the
yeah, I
moment.
will
Do it
say
in the moment.
Yeah. Yeah.
But have some points
Yeah.
already.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So, did you have help in either of the proposals, decorating or?
My best friend Dan helped gather supplies.
Shout out Dan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. He helped gather some supplies.
Okay.
And then my mom helped with the ring because it's her mom.
Mm-hmm.
So she helped. She had like her jewelry and stuff. But no, yeah, I did most of it.
Oh, which just reminds me, we haven't really touched on like the families and stuff. Are you okay if we go back?
Sure. Yeah.
Because you just mentioned, your mom. It's her mom's ring. Like, I imagine, you don't. It's very special in the family. Sorry. Are you guys as close with each other's sides of the family? Like, was there any challenges, fears, even, with cultural differences, anything like that?
There are cultural differences. I think we both love each other's, like, not just saying that. We both love and really get along with each other's in-laws, which is
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
But her dad is not fluent in English. So we kind of, like, when we go out to eat with them, she has to translate everything to him.
Sure.
He can speak pretty high level English.
Yeah.
He's so used to me translating. When he starts speaking English, my dad just looks at me.
Yeah.
So
But it's
that's
weird.
a bit
Like, me
difficult.
and him, I think we know that we, like, would like each other if we spoke the same language.
Yeah.
So it's tough because, like we would really laugh and get along if we spoke the same language. So it's tough, but we communicate through her. Her mom speaks a lot better English. So
Okay.
I can talk to her mom, and then my parents, her parents are still together. My parents are divorced, so we'll hang out with each of them individually.
Yeah.
But they love her and she loves them from day one. That was the case.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I think I have the best mother-in-law.
Oh, shout out. I've heard
Lori.
great things about her
She's
too, just in
amazing.
general. Yeah.
I can't cook, so she cooks
Uh-huh.
for me. And
Oh, you can't cook?
I'm not good.
So when
I
he
can't-
cooked for you, you were like, oh,
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
I can't cook either though.
But he's
Yeah.
better than me.
Okay, wow.
Yeah, and but his mother-in-law, my mother-in-law is excellent cook. I love all the food she makes, and
Yeah.
she's so giving and never micromanage anything. And she just is so understanding of everything.
I honestly can't wait to meet her. I've heard so many good things. I don't know. And then, like you guys are saying, we were talking about it before we got started today. You guys are doing Christmas like at all?
Yeah.
Go see
Yeah,
all
yeah.
the parents and
Yeah.
stuff and stuff. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
things are good.
Yep.
Yeah. So no issues with like the repurposing the ring to give to Leah. She liked her. Your mom liked her.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It may,
Something his mom said. So after about a month of dating, he met his mom, and she asked him if he loved me, and he said yes.
In front
And
of
yeah, not me in front of me.
Okay.
It was just two of them.
Oh.
And my mother-in-law, because it's really early, a month in, and he's in love. And she asked, "Are you sure?" And he said yes. And later, she told me he and I are pretty indecisive
Okay.
things and uncertain, like very careful.
Uh-huh.
But she said there were two things that he was 100% sure very early on, and that was Tesla and me.
yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. What car he wanted and getting, I guess, loving me.
Yeah. No, it's true. Yeah.
She says she knew nothing she says will change anything.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, you know, another thing I just realized is I have been divorced.
Okay.
So I have been married and I got divorced. And that's sort of a stigma in Korean culture.
Yeah.
So I don't want to speak for you, but I think it was hard for her to talk to her parents about that.
Okay. Yeah.
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 And her church, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
What was that
That was
like?
like probably the one you asked, like what were some hurdles. That was probably the one I could think of.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do
Yeah.
you mind if we talk about that a little
Oh,
bit?
no.
Yeah,
it's not.
because I mean, we're talking about fun things and everything too, but I mean,
Uh-huh.
this is really to like give people, you know, other couples and stuff like insight into like some of the challenges and things, and to show like I love, you know, I mean, I don't love that you were, you know, divorced and stuff like that, but like the fact that you're able to find love, you know, afterwards,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah. So when we were texting, he told me that he was divorced pretty early on. And for me, I didn't want to marry somebody who was divorced because, like, my parents are in divorce. I don't, like, I never want to be divorced. So I thought that's not what I wanted.
Yeah.
But he said, but you can ask me any questions. And I felt really bad saying, sorry, I'm not going to talk to you anymore. So I was like, okay, I need to like ease it off slowly, right? So I asked him why, or like how did it happen? And like the story was pretty crazy.
She liked the drama.
Yeah,
so-
I thought it was like a movie, right? It was so fun listening to his stories. And one thing led to another. I keep listening to the story. I'm like, give me more. Like, I need to hear more. And
Wow.
that's how, I think that's how we got here. And when I told my parents, I was kind of scared, but they said, if he's been through it all, and I kind of explained like what happened, right? And they said if he's been through that, he might be, I don't know what exact English word would be, but like he might be stronger than us.
Say it in Korean.
I can't even remember.
Okay. Okay.
The Korean word, but basically like strong, like his heart has like the muscles
Yeah.
or like hardships.
Yeah.
So they said he might be stronger than us.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, basically that's what they said.
Wow, what a very like progressive perspective for your parents to have. And I mean, I think there's a lot of truth to that too, because I'm sure there's a lot of things that you took away from that marriage, you know, and things that you learned or whatever that kind of led you to where you are now and kind of shaped like what you were looking for. I don't know. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but
No, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's another like kind of major cultural difference is Americans like 2 out of every 3 get divorced. You know, Korea that is not the case.
Well, I think it is
Or
become
maybe,
that
yeah.
now.
Yeah.
But like my parents' generation.
Oh yeah, for
not,
sure.
yeah.
I mean, I know that when you were saying, you know, it's kind of like a stigma, like, yeah, it's definitely like a Korean thing too, I think.
Yeah.
But when I really think about it, and I can cut this part out if because we haven't talked about or we didn't tee it up or anything, but like it's kind of how like the stigma part is kind of like there's a lot of similarities between that and like what I used to think of alcoholism, like to be honest, like and even like the whole like ask me any questions that you want, like that's kind of how I handle things. Like I have nothing to hide. You know, I know it's just something that like people see. People don't really even think about it really, like unless you're like going through it, but they're like it's just kind of like a taboo tag on it, and I don't know, it's easy to just kind of write it off as one thing, but like yeah, I think you're open and honest with it or whatever, and like you're saying, like your parents came, I mean they don't even know the whole story, but they came out with the perspective of, oh, he's been through a lot, things that we haven't been through necessarily, and probably is better for it. Sorry, I just went on that random tangent.
No.
Probably should have talked about that before we got going. All right, so we've kind of talked about, we've talked about how you met, the courtship, the engagement, obviously when you guys knew you wanted to spend the rest of your lives with each other. Uh, how about before we close it off, whether it's like advice for people that are still searching for the one, or any parting words of wisdom for like a happy marriage or for what works? Oh, why are you pondering that? You've never been in a fight? Like a real fight?
Well, I can be kind of mean to him when I'm really tired or hungry, but
It's nothing. It's nothing.
He's so
It's more like
Nice.
semi-joking.
Is that more the like you thing though? Like you just like super chill and comfortable in your skin
I think
and nothing gets
we
to you?
are,
Or...
they say opposites attract, but we are like
Very similar.
eerily similar. Like eerily similar, and I think it works really well for us. We're both the same calmness, but also have a little like social anxiety. Like we're exactly the same in a lot of ways. Like we want to leave the party at the same time.
Yeah, okay. That's a great.
and
Yeah.
because we understand each other so much, we support one another when we feel like, oh, this must be a lot for
Yeah.
that person.
It's easier for you guys to kind of like put yourselves in the other shoes.
Oh,
Kinda
yeah.
Yeah.
Understand what they're thinking.
Yeah, and that you're saying like advice. I think now I've learned like the key is if you're focused in your like relationship on the other person more than your own happiness, it's gonna work out.
Yeah.
If you don't make things a competition, like I did the dishes and laundry. Like, what have you done today? Like, if you're not measuring things, like it's just like I'm gonna give it my all to basically service this other person.
Yeah.
24/7.
Yeah.
And you both act like that, it's gonna work out.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's like a good sign that it's gonna work out if you both have that mentality.
And I think we talked about this a lot. Like he's really happy when I'm happy, and I get really happy when he's happy. So we are really good supporting each other. Yeah.
Also,
I
also
love
called codependency.
Also,
Maybe we need to go therapy or.
this is like codependency in the best way. Though.
Oh my gosh, you're
No,
right.
it is. It's in a good way. Like we're not. Like she just left for Orlando for a week, and I was fine. Like I'm not. I think that's another key thing to remember is, like, you need to have your own lives also.
Oh yeah.
Your own friends to vent to, even if it's not about the other person. It's just it's so important to have your own lives.
Yeah.
So like I think we have like a perfect balance of it all.
Yeah.
Like we see each other a lot, but we also have our own lives. Like we both our jobs are fully remote, or hers is changing, but so like we're literally like working together in this tiny apartment every day, and we still don't fight and argue. It's like pretty weird.
Yeah.
Like how we haven't
Pretty.
like I keep
shocking.
waiting for like this big fight, but it's not gonna come. So I think that's like a good sign.
Yeah.
I also think like it's pretty important to not obsess over like, is this person the one? Like nobody can predict the future, but I think it's not a great sign if you are like, if there's fundamental like personality traits that this other person has
Yeah.
that they're not working on to get over, they're probably not going to get over them. So if those are deal breakers, I think it's really important to like, it's a big deal. Like
Yeah.
you're not going to fix this person.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're entitled to their own free will. So they shouldn't have to change for you. So I don't know, like maybe don't marry to like fix.
Oh, definitely not. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just marry someone that you love right now. Not just that you love the person, but how they're behaving, how they are
Yeah.
treating you.
Yeah.
You have to love right now. You can't marry for someone to change.
Yeah.
Hoping for change.
Your image of someone or what they
Oh
could
gosh,
be.
yeah. That's really dangerous.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you're just not gonna be. No one's gonna be 100% sure. Like that's impossible. And if anyone says they are, that's a lie. Like I was very certain that I want to be with her the rest of my life, but no, you can't predict the future. So you're always going to have some kind of doubt. But what I did know is I couldn't picture myself without her. And I think that's a really good sign. If you can picture yourself without the other person, that's not a great sign.
Or wonder if there's something better out.
Right.
There.
Yeah. Not for a
Yeah.
second was I wondering if there's a better Leia out there. Like since I've met her, I haven't been like, maybe, there's a Leia version 2, but
I don't know if it's because of the online dating and how that's kind of changed the game or whatever. Now this thing of like maximizes where like you find someone who like fits like 90% of like, or what you're looking for or whatever, but then there's people like me that you're like, ooh, but can I find someone that has 95% or like whatever?
Yeah.
So like, how do you
Well,
get out of that?
I think, especially in America, it's sort of been taught that you deserve the best. Like don't settle for anything worse than the best. You only have one life, and that is true. But far too often, I've seen people kind of can have a false impression of what they really deserve. So they never set, or they think they're never settling, and they're constantly looking for a better. And most of the time, in reality, it's just they don't love themselves, right? So, it's a great question. It's a great question. Like, when is that? When have you reached that point of like your ideal spouse?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You look like you wanted to say something.
Well, I think for me, it was staying with him was more exciting than like going out or anything else. I think that's when I stopped like wondering if there's somebody better or something, like that will make me excited, but that didn't excite me anymore.
Yeah.
I think there's like a point when like you just want to be with someone and just want to get to know that person.
Yeah.
And you're not excited about something new.
Yeah.
And like for sure, don't like only consider people you have a huge spark with.
Oh.
Like the spark is not vital to this.
Okay.
In my opinion.
Are you trying to tell me you didn't have
Yeah.
I had a slow lighting spark.
no spark?
There wasn't like, well, I wasn't allowed to kiss, so. So it's not like vital to the equation, in my opinion.
I do think, me included, a lot of people read way too much into that.
Yeah.
I was actually reading something, or I had heard something on a podcast or whatever about like how sometimes when you have like this like intense spark with somebody, it has actually to do with like a lot of like your like past traumas and like what you're. I don't know. I don't know
That's
how
what I
accurate
heard.
it is.
I saw. Yeah.
Yeah,
that
so you
post.
probably saw the same
Yeah,
thing,
yeah.
but then it got me to thinking about that because I had just automatically tied a spark to like something that you should pursue. If you don't have it, that you shouldn't. But that's really great advice.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not saying we didn't have a spark.
No, yeah, sure.
But it wasn't like this like white, the white light, like
Yeah, just give like even if you don't have greatest spark at at first, like give it a try for a little bit.
Yeah.
and
You could
it
build a spark.
Yeah, it could become something.
But I mean, both of you agree though physical attraction is a must. Like,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
important?
Oh my gosh, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Doesn't make you shallow or anything. You just
Oh
you
no.
know, yeah.
You have to be physically attracted to each other, or you don't know what's gonna happen in the future.
Yeah, it's
if
true.
you find somebody that you're physically attracted to,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Guys, I've had so much fun.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, like I've learned a lot too, and I think there's so much good stuff in here for the listeners. Like, you don't have to wait a certain amount of time, right? And we do hear a lot of like opposites attract, and that's what works. But like this is a great example of like similar personalities, and I think in all cases, just like having like similar, would you say like life goals, like wanting to be married, wanting to have kids, all that kind of stuff. How old were y'all when you got married officially?
33 and 29.
9?
Yeah, I think I turned 29.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. And are kids in the plans?
That's the
future
plan.
plans? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like those kinds of things, yeah, definitely you want to have in common or have the, be on the same page. But like as far as personalities, interests, sometimes people do say opposites attract, but so I think it's like very refreshing to see that. And yeah, I think we've gotten to hear firsthand that like it can be super beneficial to be able to easily put yourself in the other person's shoes, and be able to be empathetic in that way. Loved hearing about you guys' history, about your families. We're kind of at the hour or whatever, but I just want to say, thank you guys so much for being vulnerable and for sharing this stuff with us. Mike, you came with like a ton of hot fire for the advice and words of encouragement. Are any parting words for anyone who might be listening? I mean, I'm kind of putting you on the spot again, but and I can cut this out too.
No.
Yeah, just that I had really bad relationship right before him. So I knew, and I felt really devastated, like, oh my gosh, am I not gonna find anybody? And I knew exactly, that kind of prepared me, and I knew exactly what I didn't want. And when I met him, he didn't have any of those, and that kind of like made my mind, I guess.
Sure.
So there's always hope.
Yeah.
And
No, that's actually a really good point.
Yeah,
Like, that's
and
exactly the same for me.
you can let go because there's somebody out there.
Yeah.
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 I think.
Yeah, it's equally as important to be well aware of what you don't like in your partner. It's almost more important to figure out those things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So unfortunately, it's like one of those things that just takes experience, But I think the short answer to your question is you'll know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you'll know.
So I'm just gonna be single for the rest of my life. Okay. Okay. I hope.
Be
I hope.
hopeful.
I'm working on myself.
Yeah.
I'm working on
You're
myself.
patient,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm patient.
Yeah.
I was told by a very wise person to wait for a little bit. So
Yeah.
guys, thank you guys again. This has been really fun. I hope you guys had
Thanks for having us.
as much fun as
Thank
I
you.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And thank you guys for listening. And we'll be back next week or next couple of weeks or whatever with another episode. So this is us signing off with our Korean hearts.
Oh,
Korean
God,
hearts.
I always mess this up.
You messed this up. Oh, you did mess it up.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Wait, let's work on this, Mike. Look, it's just that. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
I don't know what you did
I
the
always
first
do
time.
like
Yeah.
this.
Sometimes he gives me middle finger
Yeah.
trying to do it.
Hey guys, hope you enjoyed the episode. Before I let you go, I just had a quick update. This episode was recorded in December 2023, and I'm happy to report that in that time, Mike and Leah have given birth to a beautiful baby boy named Luca. So congratulations to their entire family, and we'll see you next time.
When